Howdy folks, we're going to revisit a job in Lumberville, PA, a very unique and neat property with the oldest part of the home in the middle, of course. To the right is a wood-clad addition, and to the left is a 1970s era contemporary style addition. Now on the side of the hill, it's hard to get flat area to really do much of anything, so I know this portion of the structure was built with that in mind. Up there on top of that roof there would be some entertaining of guests and some availability to some level surface, but as you will see, the cladding on it was rather atrocious, so there wasn't too much of that going on. But that's what we came to resolve. We're up on top here. Take a look at this roof. Is old 2-ply, not even in the 2-ply sense, really in a 1-ply type of sense, with a base sheet and a cap sheet. Look at it flashing, they're barely in the stone there. Roof's really overdue. And nice stonework, intersections, a lot of intricacies in this roof. This roof is had built-in gutters. For what reason, I don't know why you would put a gutter in a low slope roof, because it retains water itself, so we got rid of those. I'll go into that in a little bit. Here we are looking over the front. These wooden parapets are capped with aluminum. Bad choice of material, but any metal material on a parapet is going to give you trouble because of expansion contraction. It's going to break open. You can see those joints. They were treated with you know what the guys did in those days, redundancy, and I'll go over that in a minute. We're on the side of a hill here, and the flat area is outlined in yellow there, roughly anyway. That's your roof, about 1,100 square feet. It's a lot of flat roof. The way it was pitched towards the front and pitched side to side also. It was done with 2x4s cut to a slope to form that 1/8 inch rise per foot, very shallow A, and then each one was ripped down at 12 inches on center to form a 1/8 inch slope towards the front. There's a concrete section in the back where you come off that hill. I'll show you that. First thing we did, though, of course, was that core cut. We wanted to see what was going on so that we knew what we were dealing with, because you don't embark on this unless you know the structure. Now, I had steel beams going through this section, 3 steel I-beams. 2x10s run on 16-inch centers. And then on top of that, those 2x4s I mentioned with the slope incorporated into them, and they were also run at 12 inches on center and ripped down 1/8 inch on each one towards the front. You had 2 drains in the front. I'll discuss them. We make them out of fiberglass. There's that parapet. Troubling. Metal on parapets always is. There's redundancy built in. You see that caulk and metal underneath, and they try real hard. That's the way it was done. Expected to leak. Really, that's a band-aid underneath, but that's the way it's done in this business. Not by us. We'll show you how we do it. We make a fiberglass cap. For the parapet caps are done in one piece. Very little expansion contraction on fiberglass, and it holds up for lifetimes. Here we have a parapet in progress. Fiberglass capped parapet, copper clad. There's a scupper box made in fiberglass, casted out and formed and made in fiberglass. It's imperative that you do that. If you live in the city and got a fiberglass deck with a metal scupper, it's going to leak, and we see a lot of them. The roof rip was not too bad. It was tough, but we've done tougher. We had to take it down to the rafters in places because we needed more slope than what we had. We only had an 1/8 inch, and we had to direct that water flow. So we had to pull some tricks there to achieve that. Shim and recess that top layer to get it to go down and bring the water with it. There's a built-in gutter right on the wall. Ridiculous. Grace, ice, and water shield, turn-coated steel structure, grace, ice, and water shield, and lead-coated copper. And if you don't think acidic underlayments rot metal, look at that lead-coated copper. It's just destroyed from the grace, ice, and water shield being in contact with it. OSB is the way to go. Fiberglass decks, we get a lot of those questions. Why? Much better than finished grade plywood with that inner core that if you break the skin, it just sucks in the resin and you got resin deprivation. The weather was not too friendly to us. Here we're cutting into that wall 3 inches, 2 to 3 inches to accept the copper counter flashings. The ancillary items on this job took longer than the field work. That's what's important, is to get your money's worth out of a job, is to get all the intricacies done properly. This is burrell trim going up on the perimeter of a parapet. Burrell's made from fly ash material. It'll never rot, never harbor any insects. It's coal ash it's made from. And it's very stable. Very stable, unlike PVC materials. It's very stable. So it is the product of choice for us. Special affinity to fiberglass. Works quite well. We use a lot of it. Mechanically fastening into that cap block. Look at our other videos about parapets. We do a lot of different kinds. Sealing the parapet is very important. There's parapet finished in wood. Aspenite and burrell trim. Permanent job. Once it's cladded in glass, never have to revisit it. The ancillary items, all the verticals had to be acid washed, cleaned, and silicone sealed. Major job. Ancillary items took longer than the fiberglass itself. There's a rogue wire hanging out of the house. We had to take it out of the parapet wall, hide it underneath the parapet cap, put a conduit up there, glue the PVC together, fasten it to the wall. These little things take time. There's before shot, that beginning of that gutter in the back. You can see it. It was leaking. That was a problem area. But as you can see, the parapet was giving them trouble too. That's why we capped it and silicone sealed it. Put the new flashings in. And as you can see, night and day. Now you got a space where you can do stuff. You can entertain guests. You can sunbathe. You can have dinner out on the deck. Many things you can do out there now. You got 1,100 square foot flat area you didn't have before. Reclaimed space for the leisure. That's what this house was intended for, was to increase that living area. Back in the back, that accepts water from the back of the hill down the steps and rolls right through our roof. But over there at the corner, right there, is the concrete, and it had, the vegetation had encroached in on the roof, and what a mess it was. We had to dig and pour a 20-inch curb down into the hill there and embed our burrell trim and wrap it. There's a before picture of that same area. Was a mess. We fixed it, as you can see. Now coming up after this is an overall shot. We're just about cleaned up. Forgive us for that, but just about cleaned up, and do the walk around, take a look, see. Thanks for watching, folks.